Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan. Today's video, I'm going to be trying something I have never had before. Not only that, I have never even heard of it before. But now that I've read up on it, I'm interested. I'm intrigued. So this was sent to me by a viewer. It goes by Delicious Dairy. Thank you so much, Delicious. Not the first thing you've sent to me, and for that, I'm very appreciative. But this comes out of Kentucky. This is Glens Creek Distilling in Frankfort, Kentucky. And what's interesting about this specific product, OCD number 5, this is really fascinating to me because they are doing something that references something that Dr. James Crow once did. And if you're not familiar with that name, a little bit of quick whiskey history for you. Dr. James Crow, he's the one that things like Old Crow are named after. But he was one of the first people in the history of American distillation to ever really take meticulous notes. So he made a reputation for helping to create some really consistently good products. And that's because no one was really documenting much of what they were doing other than, hey, this is the tradition, this is what we do. When it gets hot, I do this, I turn this valve and I do that. You know what I mean? But Dr. Crow was like, I'm going to meticulously document every stage of distillation, from the grains to the mash to the ferment to the distillation to the barreling. He was the first one to ever start doing like saccharometer tests, testing for pH levels. All those things are extremely commonplace now. That's just a given. That's just what you do in distillation. Well, he was the first one to actually start doing those things in the distillation process. And he earned a great reputation because of it and worked at a couple of different distilleries. So what's interesting here is that they found dormant yeast when they basically came in and took over the old Crow facility, right? And they found it in an old vessel and decided, let's activate it. And that's the yeast they're using. And I don't know what the value is specifically in doing that, but that yeast is different, right? It didn't activate on the first fermentation and didn't meet the requirements to really wake it up and make it hungry, right? Dang, dog, chill. It says this bourbon is named after the special yeast that remained in hiding for 30 years. So everything about this product is like meticulously hand done. Kind of like the Old Crow way. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open and get it poured so it can open up as we talk about it a bit. So they're using a special, like a triple distillation pot still setup that they engineered themselves there at the distillery. They even cook their mash in a kettle. Like, it's not a giant mash tun, you know, that you have the bigger distilleries. So a lot of care went into this, and I think that's interesting. So we're gonna dive into it and see if it's any good. Also noting the proof point at 104 proof. All right. Let's go in on this thing. Let's nose it. Well, that is a really interesting nose. The first thing that came to mind was my wife likes to make homemade doughs, like for pizza crusts, or just yesterday she did her own like homemade Italian loaf of bread. And when the yeast is setting and the dough is just sitting there and you know, letting that work its way through, the odor, the aroma that fills the house, that reminds me of this. Like a real yeasty dough. And there's even like a bran cereal note in there too. I actually kind of like bran cereal. It just has that just a light sugar glaze on it. And that reminds me of this, like Raisin Bran without the raisins. But it definitely has the nut. You know what I'm saying? Like that, those little slivered almonds, that comes to mind. A little sweet, savory, nutty. That's the nose on this. Let's try it. Man, it's so wild that this is where my head went. On that first sip, the sweetness, the nuttiness, and a little bit of savoriness, all those things mingling together, my brain immediately went to sweet potato casserole with that strudel on top, the nuts, the brown sugar, the savoriness of the sweet potato, but also the sweetness of the strudel in there too. Okay, that's wild. I'm gonna fact check that. I'm gonna validate that real quick. Yeah, totally. All those things working together. Sweet, savory, nutty, and that's where I go. Sweet potato casserole. On the tail end of the palate, though, leading into the finish, I do get a little bit of a slight pepperiness, and the finish is it's interesting. It's almost like an anise kind of a finish, like Pernod. Yeah, that finish is a little bit of oak and a little bit of that like old-timey black licorice sticks. I don't hate it. I think I kind of like it. I think I kind of like this. It is unique. It is singular. Now, I should note that, yeah, that anise note, that black licorice note, even as I'm just talking after swallowing. And that's kind of circulating in the back of my palate there. Spot on. But I should note that this usually looks like it's going for around $70 to $80 a bottle. but it's probably not going to be super common on shelves. Might be something you have to order, special order, or maybe you have to go hunting for it. I don't know. But considering the price point, considering the handcrafted element to this bottle as well, and the character, the investment from the distillery, I'm going to take all those things into consideration to give this a score per my scale. And I think that I'm going to land at a 7.1. Yeah, because it gets a lot of points for being singular, for being a one of a kind, for being tailor-made. Yeah, if you ever get the chance to try that, give it a shot. You might really like it. Peculiar is a word that comes to mind, but not in a bad way, right? And that is Glens Creek OCD number 5. If by some chance you've had this, let me know what you thought of it too. Appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. Again, thanks Derry. I really appreciate your generosity sending me this bottle for me to try. I'm glad to have it. If you want to get involved in our Discord, please feel free to do so. Link is in the description, and the Patreon as well. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters for funding the bottles and the time to edit and make these videos. Keep the content flowing. I really appreciate you guys. You're rock stars. Cheers! Be warm and well fed, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.